I'm curious. I mean, season one of the show was critically acclaimed. It was loved by viewers. It got Emmy attention. What's it like to not only make a great show that you can be proud of, stretch yourself as an actor and an EP, and then hear that recognition and the reaction from fans and critics and know that it's actually being received the way that you had hoped?
There are no words for that. I mean, I took a risk with this so many years ago. I found the book. I was coming off a sitcom that everyone knew me from. And I thought, okay, this is my new venture, and I'm either going to be accepted and they're going to like it, or I'm going down with the ship because this is going to be all my fault. And I couldn't believe how much people accepted it and loved it. I remember at the beginning, I told my team, I'm like, because I was so nervous. I was sick about this thing airing. And I said, I don't want to read any reviews. I did what we did and we're proud. Let's move on. And I remember I woke up first thing in the morning and my publicist texted me. She's like, this first one just came out. I think it was Variety or Hollywood Reporter. She's got to read it. I'm like, no. It was so lovely. And all of a sudden I just started crying. It was like the first kind of door opening to people accepting this new show that I had it was my baby. It's like someone saying they like your baby. I can imagine when you have a baby, you'd like people to like your baby. So this was like all encompassing to my life, and to feel people love it, and it to get the reviews were great. And then to get the nominations, I would have bet millions that was not going to happen.
And it's funny because you have a successful first season and it's great and everyone loves it, but then it's like, oh God, we have to do it again for season 2. So what were you most nervous about with that? Because then you have pressure of everybody being like, okay, wow me again.
Oh, I was terrified. It definitely took a lot of conversations for me to fully get on board. I was really nervous about it because of that exact thing. I'm like, guys, we got away with it. Let's go, leave it. Let's move on with our lives. And we're so proud, and that's it. And I was terrified because you can't, it was good. And we did set the bar really high. But it's wild. What we came back with is bigger and better. I feel like by tenfold. The scope is huge. You know, we've got great new characters. I play 5 Cassies. The Mind Palace is on a whole nother level. I think we swung really, really hard this season.
Now that you've completed a second season, how much of a bigger and ongoing plan is there for the show? I mean, do you know what a season 3 would be? Have you had discussions about how long this show could go? Are you thinking about any of that?
No. This was really supposed to be one season. And then we did this awesome second season, but I can assure you, you're not the first person to ask me this. Which it's very flattering that people even think that there could be talks of a third season. I want to see how it's received. I want to see after we premiere kind of how it does and what people are saying. And I need a little bit of a breather. I mean, I did play 5 of myself, and I would like to not work with myself anytime soon.
What was your reaction to learning where things would be left at the end of season 2? I'm guessing you're a part of that conversation. So what did you think when you actually got to read the script and see how it would all play out and where it would all end up?
I loved the ending. The same way we did with season 1, it could literally be tied in a bow or it could continue on. We did it in a way that really could go any which way you wanted. But I think it cleared up a lot of storylines. It left other things a little bit open. But a lot of the questions are answered. And I think for Cassie, she's realizing that this life that she's living is going to be it's not an easy thing, sobriety, and that this is a lifelong struggle and it's going to take her day by day. You know, we start out with this season of her acting like everything's great. I'm just going to switch and my life is perfect and I'm sober and I'm living in LA and I got everything going for me. And, we find out very quickly that she doesn't. And this season of facing herself in the Mind Palace and all these different parts of herself that she hates so much, it's really about self-acceptance and self-forgiveness. If there's not anyone in the Mind Palace that she likes, I think that's what's really interesting. It's actually just dawning on me in this moment. Like they're all parts of her she hates. And I feel like we talk about for ourselves all the things that we hate, and we are so unkind to each other. We forget to tell ourselves the good things and be nice to ourselves. And, life in this world right now is not easy. And I think we all deserve a little bit of a break once in a while, and especially Cassie.
What has it been like to play these different versions and to fine tune each of them and make them all different, but all still pieces of the same character?
It was bizarre. As an actor, I like to be in the moment. I am incredibly reactive. I would not call myself a preparer. I never know what I'm going to do. The scenes I like to be in the moment and I like to react, and I feel it as I go. And every take, you will get something different from me. Shooting this way, the technicality of it and having to work against my mirror image and my doubles, we had to throw that out the window. I had to be very exact in my movements, in my words. I couldn't improvise because I was working off a take that was locked, if that makes sense. So it wasn't like the other me could work against what I was playing with. So I had to be much more disciplined in the things that I said, my movements, my eye line, timing was, oh my God, if I missed by a second, it wasn't like anyone could kind of work around that. We had to start all over. It was a domino effect. I learned that quickly. I'd be like, oh, so I really tried to not screw up the timing because it was like, oh my God, you're starting all over again. It was wild. We actually had a lot of conversations with the team behind Orphan Black. They really helped us. They were a great source because we used the same system that they did. So it was very interesting and very unique and different.
Your sister is also in the show, and I love her character. What do you enjoy about having her in the show? Was that character created for her, or did she just happen to be the right person for that role?
First of all, having my sister around, because she's my favorite person, has been a dream to be able to work with her. And in fact, this season, her character went to Iceland. So we got to be in Iceland together. So hello, dream. Rewinding to season 1, no, the character was not written for her. Cecilia was the part. And we were casting. No one told me she was auditioning. I was watching dailies, or not dailies. I was watching self-tapes every night, and all the producers were, and I go to my Cecilia file and I'm watching everybody, and Brie pops up, and I was like, and I write the group. I'm like, my sister auditioned. And I go, oh my God. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take myself out of this because I'm biased and I think she's the most amazing thing ever. So I took my opinion out. And I'm like, this is not a fair thing. You guys decide. And the studio approved her. The network loved her. She got the job really totally on her own and made it her own. And I was so excited that we actually got to have a little bit of a moment on screen this season, because we didn't get to do that last year.
Cassie may be more aware of her issues and the triggers for those issues, but those issues certainly aren't resolved or gone. But does it feel like by the end of this season that Cassie is being more honest with herself and about herself than she was before?
Yes, I think she does make strides by the end of this season. I think that she would have never gotten out of that mind palace. I think she finally accepting these are parts of her personality. And look, we all have that. We have all parts of us that we don't love, but they come with us. They are part of our hearts and our souls. And we try and do better every day. And we all make mistakes every single day. And Cassie was just putting on such a show. And I think it's her realizing I'm not perfect. Every day is a new day, and asking for help and using the people around her to help get her through. I know, for instance, for myself, I definitely have needed that this last year. I've asked for help, and I've been open to, to voicing that and not being so, they called me the octopus last season because I had my arms in everything. And this season it was so much going on in my life and then so much going on in the show. I definitely asked for way more help this time. And it's amazing how many people really do want to help you, especially when you're a person that doesn't normally ask. They're dove in, and I had such a great group around me, getting the things that I needed, giving me the time that I needed. So I'm just glad that I spoke up, but it is very hard to do.
Well, thank you. Thank you for making a great show. This show I love it. You're great in it. And I don't know how you pull it off, but thank you.
Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you.
Thanks so much.